See, I can't. Oh. Fine. Okay. The gang is here. Are you listening? There's Mentos. Jack is glistening. A beautiful sight. We're happy tonight. Recording a Christmas Ramblecast. Chris is warm by the fire. Matt's arms soon will tire. For drawing for Nick, a small masterpiece. Recording a Christmas Ramblecast.
Nice work.
Solid.
You know, if you would have played that song before the verses, I would have picked that for a Christmas song.
Oh, well. Your pick did pretty well.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
So let me rearrange some stuff now so I can see everybody.
Can everyone see? Is it all four of us and not just me this time?
Yeah, let's hope so.
We're on fire to start this. Are you guys ready?
Hey, it's live. It's live.
We're doing it live.
We'll do it live.
Well, I'll start off with some happy stuff. So Christmas.
I don't like fucking happy stuff going on here.
It's Christmas, Jack.
All right, go ahead.
So Christmas came early today. I got some gifts in the mail, which made me happy. First one came from Colleen / the listeners. I got a mug that I got. It's the Nick Dunn Show, starring Nick, and Nick. So I get first through last billing.
Does that mean we can all leave?
Yeah.
Did you finally got top billing?
I got top billing, so I'm pretty psyched.
That's outstanding.
Yeah. That is funny.
And then the next gift I got in was a nicely packaged and properly stamped thing. It was actually one of the loveliest cards I've ever gotten, and it is from Sir Matt. And I thought
Matt?
I just thought this was a great card, Matt. It only would have been topped if you would have drawn it yourself.
Oh, yeah.
And it's actually showcasing one of the best Christmas songs there was ever.
Yeah.
But just wait.
That's a show where they abuse the kid?
Yeah. And then also to add to the gift, which made my day, he sent me a 45 of Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Nice.
Yeah. And I played it as soon as I got it. Didn't skip or pop, and it was great.
That's awesome.
Fun. Hey, can you hold up the mug again?
The mug? Sure.
Yeah.
I had to test that 45 before I sent it, just because I really wanted.
It says Nick. It should be Nick interrupt. Nick interrupt.
Yeah. I like it. And then the last gift I got, which I ordered myself, was
holy shit.
It's a package I got because it came in early, which was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's
so I'm looking forward to
your Christmas.
Yeah. Well, I'll be in Tennessee, so I have to wait till I come back to play. But yeah, so I've got the Ultimate Edition. So
there you go.
Coming back from Tennessee, you should be in that right frame of mind. I would
exactly. Yeah. Just the Wild West. Yeah.
I
gotta go out and find food for my kids. You know.
I gotta say,
fiddles.
Yeah.
I gotta say, Nick, I had seen that 45 probably like the week that all of the voting was going down for our verses, and you were in the lead, and I saw that 45, and I was like, oh, this is just too perfect. So I picked it up, and I thought if you won, that would be like the perfect like gift for winning the verses. So.
Yeah, I was happy, because you don't see 45s. There's actually good 45s, not much. I've got a bunch at home that I've gotten over the years, but they're not in the sleeves. They're just all laying around. They're scratched. And then there's some in the store that I buy, but they're exact same thing. Like they're in the cheap little white ones, and they're scratched. And they're all cheap. So it's like, oh, but it's nice to get a good 45, especially with the jacket and that good condition. That's great.
Yeah.
With the
and
jacket.
then, Brenda Lee
the sleeve,
Yeah, and Matt Treese in the chat says he's actually playing Red Dead right now. The game is so damn good, he says.
Actually, what I'm going to do, because I'm home for a week, is I also, because I'm one of those kind of gamers that's a completist, I got the complete official collector's edition guide to the game. So I'm just going to like read this for a solid week before I can play it. Look, I know
you're one of those people. I just learn on the fly.
Yeah, that is a good game.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I do sometimes, but it's just like it's one of those things that my OCD kicks in where it's because I played the 09, the original, well not the original, the second technically Red Dead game, and it could be one of those things where like you need to kill 10 varieties of bears, and you'll kill 9 out of 10, and that last one is just bugging the shit out of me, and I have to I have to find it, and so that's why I get stuff like that, so I know where to get it.
Yeah, it's a really good game. I mean, I've probably put a good 20 hours into it, just playing around, and I'm not even scratched the surface on the game. And then
the map is huge.
I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty, so I tend to like play one game at a time and then put it on hold, and play one game at a time, put that one on hold, move on.
I've been playing a lot of Asteroids.
Oh yeah, I saw that gift. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Jan Colling got me this. It's the old time. It's the old time. It's Asteroids,
Old timers edition.
Some other games, and just I'm hooked on Asteroids.
That's awesome.
Trying to remember how to. Jay goes, well, didn't you used to play it? I go, yeah, 30 years ago. I'm trying to remember how. What am I talking about? 40 years ago. But I think the game was invented by a kid. Because the sound the triangle rocket makes is pew 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 pew. So they have great sound effects, and it was easy to put together. I put it together in like 40 minutes, no swearing, no cussing.
Oh, you had to put it together?
Yeah, you had to put it together. I mean, it comes in a box, and you have to assemble it. And Jay did it. He had bought one for himself. He goes, "Well, how long do you?" About 40, 45 minutes. I go, "Okay, all right." I think an hour I can get it done. About 45 minutes, I got it done. Directions were simple, easy. I paid attention to directions because usually I don't, but I paid attention to directions and got it all set up.
Nice.
So there.
We'll see how that lasts.
What do you think, it's going to fall apart?
I think you're going to get mad at it one day and like slam your fist on it, and it's just going to,
Well, my wife is, because she'll be downstairs. She goes, "What are you swearing at?" I go, "Fucking asteroid!" I don't know if you ever played Asteroids.
Yeah, hemorrhoids.
It might be the same thing.
Yeah, fucking asteroid. Yeah.
When you die, your ship, you get 3 lives. The ship explodes. Well, sometimes it'll put you out there, and before you can do anything, an asteroid hits you. I go, that's bullshit. I mean, I don't have a chance. I mean, it's just boom. I go, that's bullshit.
That's why Atari was more like real life. So abstract, you can't understand it,
Just when you think you're doing well.
Smack. Yeah, I was more of a missile command guy from my Atari 2600 days. Talk about a stressful game.
I have that, and I remember playing it, and I'm like going, all right, I realize why I didn't keep playing this. Because I run out of missiles, and I'm just getting killed. It's Armageddon. Pisses me off. Not as much as my Patriots do, but
see, like I do envy you guys because like the only place I could play those games, I just didn't like playing those games because like the first system I had was the original Nintendo in '86, even though it came out in '85 because that was when I was 5, and so the dad got me that. But in order to play a video game, I had to go to the Pizza Hut.
Wait, I hate to interrupt you, but I don't. 1985, you were 5?
No, it came out in 1985. I was 4.
4.
And then even I got it in 86.
85, I was... Shit, I had a kid.
Yeah.
Okay.
But, like, I don't think many kids had video game systems in rural Western Tennessee. And so I remember having to go to the Pizza Hut, which is like kind of like where all like kids hung out. We had kids and Pac-Man and Donkey Kong.
You didn't have an arcade?
No, not in my little town. No.
Oh, okay.
Well, the only thing we had to do growing up, other than like make your own fun, is that we had a roller skating rink and we had 2-screen movie theater. That was it.
I know my dad he used to tell me, "You're wasting your money going to this arcade." Because, I'd take my allowance or whatever I had and go down to the local arcade and, play some games. He goes, "It's just a waste of money." I go, "Yeah, but I enjoy it. Keep me off the streets." Why don't you shut up, old man? Now, that's not what I said out loud.
Well, you could have said, "I'll sock you with a sack full of quarters." See how you feel about it then.
Oh, hey, fuck you, David Gott.
What happened?
He wrote LA Chargers' best victory in the history of the franchise.
It's not the best victory in the history of the franchise. Well, maybe the LA franchise, but fuck you.
I wrote the intro
bear,
song.
Man.
I wrote the intro song fairly quickly. I almost, for half a second, did. I saw Jack kissing Dean Spanos tonight under the Christmas tree. But I didn't know where to go after that, so I was like,
I missed that part. My screen was frozen up, so
he just said "fuck you too, Jack." So whatever.
No.
What I just said to Jack?
No. I said "fuck you, David Gott." What the fuck, man? Fuck you and your Bears.
Jack's already pissed off starting this because he couldn't get the link. He only had 2 links. He couldn't figure out how to rub 2 matches together.
Bears fans string a couple of wins together, and all of a sudden they think they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Sun shines on all
they've only won 1 Super Bowl. Who'd they beat? Trying to remember. The Patriots.
Like 35 years ago.
They didn't just beat them. It was a beatdown.
What was the last time the Chargers won the Super Bowl?
When they got beat in 94. Fuck them, I don't care.
No, he said win. He said win.
When did they win?
Yeah.
They won the AFL championship in 1963. Beating
No, he said the Super Bowl. When was the last time the Chargers won the Super Bowl?
All right, fuck it. I don't care.
I think he's even more salty tonight than he was.
They haven't invented bowls yet.
Yeah.
And we were bad fans because our fucking team never won a Super Bowl. Like I said, when Spanos moved the team to LA, didn't have to rent an extra trailer for the trophies. That was empty.
Right? Are you eating pretzels too?
I think he is eating pretzels.
Yeah.
So we bring the trophy case. Yeah, maybe someday we'll win something. Fuck off, Dean Spanos. I've been debating.
Right,
I've been debating LA.
We're how many minutes in, and Jack is already might be eclipsing his saltiness from 2 weeks ago.
Well, I'm torn because I've said I love Phillip Rivers. I love Antonio Gates. I would love nothing better for them to win a Super Bowl, but it's like, what the fuck, man? I'm watching that game on Thursday. They should have lost. Of course, the refs. They never gave those calls when they were in San Diego. Can we just say that? Never. Pass interference, the ball's 45 feet in the air. Rivers is just throwing it away. Pass interference. What the fuck? How's that pass interference?
It was an uncatchable ball.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. But
David Gott, my Bears won and also have remained in Chicago for like 120 years.
The weather's hardier there. The weather's hardier in Chicago. It builds character.
Who else wants them?
It is hard to move too when you're in 4 feet of snow and 100-mile-an-hour winds.
It's the windy city. There's not a lot of fair weather fans there.
Yeah.
Or are there?
I'll give you this. I'll give you this about Chicago fans. They supported those Cubs for how long? How many generations died without winning a World Series, and yet they still supported that team. So yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that, David Gott. That Chicago fans are some of the best fans in the world.
I was kind of rooting for the Cubs to never win ever because it's one of those things, kind of like when the Red Sox finally won. Like, it's just like it's like you always have that it's like the curse, and the curse is what makes you the fans because like you love the misery, and then now the misery's gone. It's like, what do I have left?
That's how I pulled it up.
I'll bring this up. 1984, the Padres played the Cubs in the NCAA championship game to go to the World Series. Cubs get off to a 2-0 start. they're already packed. They're already booking their tickets for Detroit because Detroit is playing Kansas City. Well, little did they know they'd come to San Diego and get swept. It was great. I was at Game 4 where Garvey hit the home run. The Cub fans, gotta love them. They're some of the most obnoxious fans in the world. I go, you're probably confused because back then the Cubs didn't have lights. It was all day baseball. I said, you're probably confused because we have this thing called lights. You can actually play when it gets dark. And, so I put a curse on the Cubs. I go, you got another 50 years of losing. And then we beat them, and they were all bitter and stuff. So anyway, Padres beat the Cubs in 1984. So fuck off.
Oh, man.
And my Padres are still there, so there you have that. Anyway, you were saying about your Patriots.
I wasn't saying shit about my Patriots until you brought them up. So yeah, unfortunately, I guess fortunately, I was working during the game, and I didn't have to watch the entire damn thing. But
did they lose? Did they lose again?
Yeah, dude, it was. Just,
I really didn't see anything about it.
So here it is. So the Patriots played fairly shitty all game, with the exception of 2 key interceptions, which were awesome. Well-timed interceptions, need the turnovers. But guess what? You know who didn't perform?
The GOAT?
Tom Brady.
Tom fucking Brady. I'll say it. When he fucks up, I will be the first to admit it. But like in that last drive, or actually we'll just go for the last 2 drives. He threw some terrible passes or attempts at passes, uncatchable balls, pass receiver. It was just like it was weird because they were the plays that he normally makes. So
it's because he doesn't have flat balls.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I was thinking too. Yeah. Maybe they're just a little, he is getting older. Maybe his balls are a little bit more deflated now.
They're sagging. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's having trouble. He's having trouble picking up the ball.
No, they got rid of his normal.
I'll take solace in the fact that we've been in this position before. We've had this record before, and we've gone to win the damn Super Bowl. So, shit happens in the back half of the season.
I will say this:
they get it together.
The GOAT has had terrible games before, and the Patriots have always won.
Yep.
But I was telling Tucker, I was trying to tuck Tucker off the ledge. I go, because he's like, the Chargers got a chance. The Chargers do have a good team. They could win the Super Bowl. But when it comes to the playoffs, it's a different story because you have Belichick, who's a far better coach than any of the other coaches in the AFC. So that is a huge plus when it comes to the playoffs. Just saying.
Yeah, he's the best coach that lives right now. I mean, there's no question about that. The guy, that this team is so resilient and that they've found ways to, exploit the talents that they have, which are typically, with the exception of Tom Brady, you don't have any real standout names. I mean, Gronkowski, he was probably the closest to like a star player that we've had in a long time, but he's slowed down. He can't move. Like he's
Edelman, Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, but Edelman and Gordon, though, I mean, they're on any other team, they would not be who they are. Look at Amendola. What's Amendola doing in Miami?
Nothing.
Exactly. Right. But when you play, when you put those pieces together on a team like New England, which we have done in the past, and we've lost our groove somewhere. I'm not quite sure where the hell it is, but when you put all those pieces together under the coaching of Bill Belichick and McDaniels, like this team can be one of the most annoying to play teams in the face of the planet because they just get the job done. The last 2 games, however, have not reflected that. And it's been
I already see people in New England saying they should get rid of McDaniels. I'm like, I guess maybe the dude should have taken a head coaching job when he had a chance.
No, McDaniel, he's fine.
I don't know.
He did take a head coaching job, but he came back.
Yeah,
he said, "Fuck you guys, I'm out."
That was with Detroit, right? No.
Yeah.
No.
Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
No, McDaniels was with. I thought he was with
Denver.
Denver. He actually coached for Denver.
He was
He
terrible.
did coach for Denver.
Yeah,
Denver.
McDaniels
He accepted a job in Indianapolis, and before he went for day one, he's like, "Yeah, just kidding. I'm backing out." Before
he was like Sally to Charlie Brown. He was like, "I'm going to pull this away."
Well, he was terrible in Denver.
He was terrible in Indianapolis.
So Chris Drake says the team is terrible if they can't win with one, or team is garbage if they can't win with one player down.
Patriots have won for years.
I'll tell you how many Super Bowls we've won with players down. Let's go for the first one for Tom Brady when, Drew Bledsoe died on the sidelines and Tom Brady came out of the fucking woodwork and was a superstar. How about when Gronkowski was out for the entire season?
He also had the tuck against
What's
Oakland.
that?
He had the tuck against Oakland.
Hey, man, it was a rule.
The famous tuck, where clearly it was a fumble.
Hey, man.
But I'll be honest. At the time, I fucking hate Oakland, so fuck them.
No, so I mean, if you're looking for a team they can win with players down, I mean, the Patriots are them. I mean, they're
7-0 at home.
Yeah, gotta get that ball back in Foxborough.
But I was gonna say, like, I agree with you, Chris. Like, I always thought of Boston as like a team full of like you put players like at a 1 out of 10. New England. It's like all solid 8. In every position just about. And
they don't make mistakes.
I'd rather have a team of solid 8s than have a team mostly of 6s and then have like 2 10s, because a solid 8 team is going to win 9 times out of 10.
Why? Because Belichick doesn't put up with crap. If players make mistakes, they're gone.
It's really sexist of you to just rank players like that.
Would you call it sexist? More like athletist?
Very objective. It's very objectifying.
Yeah.
Bodies, their prowess.
Yeah.
No, but Nick, you're right. Belichick doesn't put up with shit. And I guess the question is...
That was me.
Or Jack, you're right. Belichick doesn't put up with shit. Sorry.
I'll take credit.
But here's the question, though.
You can take credit for it, Nick, when it's the Nick show.
But that's worked for us for this long. And I guess the questions that always pop up, because the sports media has to have something to talk about, right? And the question, which I feel is untrue, they're saying, is that style still relevant here? Should we be looking at a different approach? And I mean, I'll say no. I mean, for anyone who thinks that, I mean, I think Bill Belichick is probably
scoreboard's all that matters.
The best thing that's happened to this team in its history.
Yeah, I got LA fans on Twitter that I got to stop because they're so fucking stupid. I mean, I just got because they just don't make any sense. Sorry if you're an LA Charger fan that's from LA. I mean, they've been fans for 6 weeks and they're trying to tell me you need to get over it. Yeah. Get over it. What are you gonna do when Rivers retires? Rivers is not 27; he's 37.
No, that's how many kids he has.
Yeah, he's got 9. He's got another one on the way. He's got his 9th one on the way. What do you do when he retires? I think this could be his. Yeah, this could be his last year.
I definitely have some props for Brady for being at his age still playing.
Yeah,
no way I could.
Well, he's not. He's only been hurt once, really.
But still, you're still getting hit. And
he's as old as he is, and he's better than almost all the quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah.
Well, Brady
game's on the line.
You can't sneeze on Brady.
Well, I mean, you can't sneeze on any quarterback nowadays.
True.
But no,
there's a lot of.
Come on, like there are literally fucking rules that say you can't look at the quarterback the wrong way.
Did you watch the game Thursday? The Chiefs Charger game?
Yeah, because we were fucking recording, dude.
Well, I was watching.
I know.
It was.
That show was awful. Thursday's show was one of the worst shows we've ever recorded. Nobody's talking about it these days. They're all talking about this show.
My wife just set off the alarm. At least I hope it's my wife. This was
LA Charger fans.
This is after we recorded. It was on the final drive.
Somebody's looting.
Hold on. I have to pause for a second.
Am I getting interrupted?
David Guy just says not better than Mahomes. Dude, settle down.
Mahomes is going to
45 minutes old. Tom Brady is better than Mahomes.
If Mahomes doesn't get hurt, dude's a superstar. He does.
He will be. He will be. But
and they lost. And the Chiefs lost that game because Andy Reid, the stupid dumbass he is
an idiot.
Has Mahomes, and it was like I go, what is North Turner coaching this game? Do we have? Why would you let Mahomes do what Mahomes does, and you get a couple first downs, you win the game? But anyway, going back to Rivers, there's like 20-something seconds left. Rivers runs the ball, which he should never do. His knee goes down, and the guy comes in with a helmet right to his head. No call. I go, Brady. The guy would have slid right by him. It would have been 15 yards.
I will just say 99 times out of 100, they are calling every little play. If there's a helmet hitting any player, it doesn't matter if you're a receiver or you're a quarterback, that flag's coming out.
Yeah.
So,
and can we just say this? I've said this when we were doing Sports Talk 3 with you guys. Pass interference has to be reviewable because it's the biggest call the ref can make, and they butcher it all the time.
Yeah.
What we discussed on Sports Talk, just to let Chris and Nick in on this, is that we felt that the coach should have at least one challenge for a flag, whether it's for a yellow flag. Maybe one per game, or let's say, it's kind of like your red challenge flag.
Right.
So,
no, but an extra challenge.
Oh, an extra challenge.
Well, just a challenge on a yellow and, a yellow flag, right?
You see it all. You see it every game. I'm like going, how is that pass interference? I mean, it's funny because they called it on the Chiefs pass interference, and then on the touchdown that on the final touchdown the Chargers got, Mike Williams clearly takes two hands and shoves the defender away, and the ref, I swear to God, it's looking 10 feet away. I go, all right, either you just don't fucking care, but it has to be that because there's no way you couldn't see it.
Well, and the other rule that they need to fix, and I've been complaining about this, is after you get a touchdown, the penalty that comes from the defensive players hitting an offensive player. There's always a yellow flag that comes out. It does no good. They need to either back them up and just have an automatic if you make this hit, it's basically a late hit on a score.
You have to kick off from the goal line.
Or, just automatically, like you start off on the 10-yard line or something like that, or you get backed up 15 yards from wherever you accept the ball. So
I agree.
Just back them up, make it like a normal 15-yard penalty on a roughing a player, because it's basically a freebie, because when they advance and the next time that they kick off and the receiving team is getting the ball, automatically it's just, it does no good. It's just a worthless penalty, and defensive players know it. It's a cheap shot, and they're able to get away with it. So,
I know in hockey they have it like USA hockey rules. There's intent to injure, and if you believe that was like a call like that, screw it, you're out the next game. So it's not just a 5-minute penalty or something like that. You're out the next game.
Speaking of hockey. Took my family ice skating this weekend, which I know Jack pretty much lived in a rink. But, it's always kind of fun to go ice skating. It's kind of an annual thing that we do right around this time of year, go ice skating. And my son, he just was like all over the ice this time. Last year I felt like he was like, okay, he's actually working on it.
Did he have a book in his hand? Was he reading?
No. What? Where would you get that from?
Well, because he's not allowed to read, so.
No, he's allowed to read, just not after you put him to bed. There are rules.
You can't read!
But at some point, though, he did say, I was all over the ice like a hockey puck. And I was like, I just thought it was an odd analogy for him to make, and it was pretty true.
You tell him that the puck takes most of the abuse in a hockey game?
He took a lot of abuse on the ice that day.
So he's one of those kids the other skaters hate.
No, he just.
Oh, yeah. They may not have complained to you, but.
Okay, well. I hate the speed skaters, and I actually like if you check my Instagram feed, there is an ice skater that kind of cuts in front of him, and then that's when he loses his balance and hits.
An actual speed skater or someone skating fast?
okay, somebody's skating fast, but there's always these people. There's always these people that are like, okay, I'm going to go as fast as I can and try to weave in and out of people, and that's fair enough. But when you knock other players, or not players, but actually just ice skaters down,
I throw those people off the ice.
They should get a yellow flag for sure.
Not only yellow flag, get the fuck off the ice.
We had a fun time though, so it's always fun going ice skating with the family. So
it's funny how people just want to skate when it's cold. It's like buying ice cream. Hey, let's get some ice cream. It's 20 degrees outside.
Sure. Well, I mean, it does seem like a seasonal thing, though. I mean, you don't really think about it in the summertime, although that does seem to be the ideal time to go, right?
Because we'd have people in the wintertime complaining, it's so cold in there. I go, well, do you want to skate or you want to swim? Those are your options. I'm all about customer service.
Sure. Anyway, that was just
What did it cost? What did it cost? If you don't mind me asking, what did it cost to go skating?
I want to say like 27.
For you?
The four of us, yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean it was under 30. So
I want to say it's 13 or 14 to skate right now in like our central area here, the outdoor skating rink. 2
adults, 2 kids. So and I even rented the little guide too, just for. Although he didn't use it the whole time, so.
Well, obviously he was all over the place.
I know he was. He really was. So.
I know that my wife and I went to Rockefeller Center. It was $56.
Dang.
And that was for 6 laps. And we had our own skates. 6 laps. That's all because the ice was so bad.
So roughly like $10 a lap.
My wife goes, well, I'm done. I go, already? She goes, well, I just wanted to skate here. That was my dream. I go, okay.
Ice was just really choppy?
It was warm that day.
Oh, okay.
So the ice was melting.
Oh.
Yeah.
So it was, plus the ice was too thick. They didn't do ice maintenance.
Yeah. It was weird. They always, the public skating at this rink that we go to, it's like 2 hours, basically. They open it to the public for 2 hours. And we skate pretty much almost the whole time. I mean, we'll take breaks and what have you. But usually at the halfway point, they'll bring out the Zamboni, freshen up the ice. But this time they didn't. And boy, you could tell at the end there, it was just really choppy.
You know when most people get hurt?
What's that?
When you bring the Zamboni up. When the ice is freshly cut,
yeah,
it's slick.
Oh,
that's when most of your injuries occur, when someone gets that. Because we would purposely not do the ice, even though sometimes you had to, depending on what was after. But people, you got to do the ice. I go, yeah, you're a good skater. I go, but for the bad skaters, they should be on crappy ice because it's too slick, and they lose their, they twist an ankle, break an arm, cut their face up.
At one point, my son hit the ice, and he bounced. I wish I had it on video. I mean, I saw him, he hit, and he bounced. I was like,
well, that's what good having those books in his pocket.
He was not reading at that time. It was, and to clarify for David Gott, if he's wondering why I punished my kid for reading, he was
a hater.
He was sneaking reading at night. And staying up too late and then waking up really cranky.
He wasn't sneak drinking or smoking pot or taking drugs. He was reading.
It's an issue every morning when you have to face like a kid that's just like bad disposition and cranky because like they clearly have been, and then the lying and the cheating.
We have Elf on the Shelf. Right?
Yeah, that elf doesn't do any fucking good in my house.
He reads it for the articles. Dad.
You guys see? I was watching clips of Saturday Night Live, and they have what's the guy? Jason. What's the Aquaman? Game of Thrones. Jason.
Murmur.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Aquaman. Yeah.
Yeah. He
Khal Drogo.
He's on there, and he's an elf on the shelf along with 2 others. And they're talking to Santa, and they're talking about their kid that they have to watch. He's like, could I get somebody new? He goes, well, you've been with, I can't remember the kid's name, Mikey for 7-8 years. He goes, yeah, now he's 13. He's doing a lot of things to his body I don't want to watch. It was so. I was watching with my granddaughter, who's like 4 months, and so I'm watching and laughing, and she's looking at me like I'm crazy. But it was so funny because he goes, yeah, he doesn't stop. He knows I'm there, but he doesn't stop.
Man.
If you haven't seen it, go on YouTube and find it.
I can't wait till the elves leave. I mean, they're just, and to remember to move them,
Can't you just say, screw it, the elves moved out?
Well, I made a mistake. I forgot the other night.
Again?
Yeah, I'd hit the alarm, but then I'd forgotten. It's like I was like, oh, yeah, I know, I'll get to that. And then I forgot. So
you know what I would do next year, Matt? As I would say, the elves have unionized.
No,
they're on strike.
I used the same excuse that I used last time. Daddy was asleep, and they didn't want to move while I was in the room.
Right. So I think I found my replacement for the elf after this season's over with. So my daughter the other day, when she was talking with a couple of her friends, she told me of an activity that she wants to take part in. That I'm super, super pumped that she's interested in doing this. My daughter wants to take karate, which is so fucking badass, and I'm pumped. But there is this like a karate dojo in my town. It's called like a family karate place. This is where families, body, mind, and spirit unite. But dude, it's awesome. Like the karate master dojo guy, what would you call him? Sensei. Dude, he looks like mankind. It's awesome. I'll share a picture of him. I'll try and share my screen here of the a picture of the guy. Let me see if I can't start a screen share here. All right, cool. So, I mean, look at this dude.
Oh, wow.
Look at him. He's like mankind. It's awesome. So, so he's she's looking to join this karate thing, but this is the best part is that I'm going to highlight the text here and show you guys. So our program is unique that children have a weekly checklist to fill out, holding them accountable for daily responsibilities, such as listening to mom and dad, keeping the room clean, and keeping their academics in check. Each week, they present a checklist after class to Mr. Crehan, and he takes the time with each child to go over their progress.
So he's like a living elf on the shelf.
That's what I'm saying. So he's like my replacement for Elf on the Shelf, which I'm pretty excited about.
You get your daughter to wax your car.
I know, right? So yeah, wax on, wax off. I love it. But no, I'm super pumped. Like she's like been asking me about it nonstop. She's like, "Can I do karate?" Because she found out that one of her friends does it. So I'm like, hell yeah, you can do karate. So I'm gonna go over there tomorrow morning and check it out.
There you go. Good job.
Get her in there, but and I'll have a little badass in the house, which is awesome. So she can protect her little brother.
Now, I don't know if it was around when Jack was a kid, but did all three of us do karate as kids? Because I did.
I did not.
Oh,
I did not. No.
Okay.
I did breakdancing.
I was too busy getting laid.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. Like, I mean,
wait, hold on, Nick. You had no arcade, but you had a karate dojo place.
We had a karate dojo, and there's like maybe 8 kids in there. But like, yeah, I mean, you think about like, I probably started somewhere in the mid to late 80s, right after Karate Kid. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was huge. So like, karate was like that. That was its heyday. So
I forgot about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I just watched every kid Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris movies.
Yeah,
that helped me out.
I remember Chuck Norris movies for sure. I remember the Chuck Norris action figures that came out. I was like, what the hell is this shit? This isn't Star Wars.
Did you guys hear that Chuck Norris was cast in the new Star Wars movie, the upcoming one?
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's going to be the Force.
What?
I did hear that. What's the name of that ginger singer?
Ed
Sheeran.
Yeah, he's going to be in the new Star Wars.
Well, Penny Marshall was going to be in it.
Ouch.
Oh, God rest her soul.
I love Penny Marshall. I thought she was
do
funny
too.
and a great director.
I do too.
75.
Although I was more of a Shirley, like when I watched the show.
Well, yeah, she was. Yeah.
But Laverne though, she had the personality.
I don't think I've ever watched an episode of that show.
Really?
Yeah.
But you had a Karate JoJo.
Yeah. I didn't have a skating rink either, ice skating rink either, Jack. So the first time I ever went ice skating was in Raleigh.
How have you never seen Laverne and Shirley?
I've never seen it. I guess my parents just didn't watch it.
I never watched it either. I mean, I know the intro.
Huh.
And
Yeah,
I know the intro because I saw Wayne's World.
Wayne's World, yeah.
I guess because I grew up with Happy Days, and it was like a spinoff from Happy Days.
Yeah.
I just ended up seeing a lot of, I don't know, reruns or when it aired live. I don't know. I watched a lot of Laverne and
It
Shirley.
was on after Happy Days.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, I believe so.
Now the TV shows. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like the TV shows I watched were Taxi, Magnum PI. Was it Chase and Chase? Was it? What am I thinking of?
Chase and Chase.
Not Chase and Chase. I don't know. Some 80s show my dad liked. But like all the
Well, wait.
Cosby Show.
No, you just can't leave it like that. Chase
Sure I can.
Who was in it? Who was in it?
I don't remember. I just remember the show.
You know that show?
It was a
Chase
Tennessee.
and
It was a Tennessee show.
Yeah,
Chase
it's
and
just
Chase.
weird.
So someone posted in the patron group. I forgot who it was. It might have been, I don't know who it was, but they posted that clip from Taxi. One of the funniest clips.
Oh yeah, it is the clip. Yeah,
They do.
Like it's so funny. Like I haven't watched, and I mean, I never watched Taxi. Like I watched it, but I never like sat and watched it. Like I was definitely too young for it.
You can stand and watch it. It's okay.
Oh.
When I was a kid, I was definitely too young to get to watch and get the humor. I remember my dad watched it, and I remember my dad laughing his balls off when I was a kid. But I never sat down and actually got into it. But I guess I never realized how young Christopher Lloyd was in that show.
He's young even in Back to the Future.
I know, but he looks like he's like 20. He probably was like 20 years old for that show. But
so does Danny DeVito now.
He does.
I mean, in comparison,
you're absolutely right.
I mean, you look at Danny DeVito, and you're like, what?
So was I when I was watching it.
But what does the yellow lightning scene was killer, man. That's one of the funniest TV scenes ever.
It's the funniest scene as far as I'm concerned in television history because because the reaction from the actors when they keep saying slow down, what, dude, and he looks down because he forgets where he's at.
Yeah.
And, dude,
Yellow,
and, slow down. And he gets this look on his face like, oh, come on.
It's so good.
And Alex Rieger just walking around going, what the hell's going on?
It's so good.
Yeah, funniest scene in television history. I will go to a Tennessee dojo and fight anyone that disagrees with me.
A Tennessee dojo.
It's so good.
Got to be
So
specific.
good.
Wax on and wax off.
Well, Jack, have we got any feedback at all from our listeners?
From listen, you mean like emails?
Aside from World War III that I may or may not have started last week?
Nothing. I don't think we got anything. I thought it was handled properly.
I thought so.
Actually, it was worse when you posted in the patrons group.
That's the
I
Patriots
know.
group. Yeah.
What?
All right.
It was interesting. I was watching the news today about that song. If anyone out there doesn't know, like we're talking about the "Baby It's Cold Outside" debate. I think it was in Cincinnati, Ohio. There's some radio station that said like, "Oh, we're not going to play the song." So another radio station on the Kentucky side of the river said, "We're going to play it for 2 hours solid."
They put on 2 hours on loop.
Loop. It was different versions though, so it wasn't the same version. But it was like that's interesting.
Speaking of loop, do you know if like singers like with Alexa, when you go, Alexa, play me this song, do they get royalties?
Yes. So the way that all that works is that the different streaming services pay out differently.
Most of them shit.
Because
for the most part, it's actually terrible. What they pay Spotify, I believe, is notorious for being, I believe, the worst payout. I think I'm not sure about Amazon Music, but the last I read, I think I was reading an article that was saying that the way that Apple Music and iTunes has it set up, whereas it's still way less than they got paid for record sales, but I think of the streaming services, I believe iTunes and Apple Music actually pay out the most.
Okay, because my granddaughter, who goes 0 to 60, she'll be happy then 0 to 60. She's been better because they switched her formula, and she's not screaming as much. But it used to be We Are the World. She'd actually watch the video, and I would do the different voices, and that would calm her down. But the song that does best is what's that movie with Dwayne Johnson's in? Disney movie, Manano.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He sings the song, You're Welcome. Literally, that song will play in our house on a loop from Alexa. No, Alexa, don't play. For 4 to 5 hours. When she's sleeping, we play that song, and it's like 1 minute and 45 seconds. And so it's going – so if Dwayne Johnson gets a check for like next month for like $8.50, that's all me.
He could probably use it. Yeah.
Because I posted a video on Twitter of my granddaughter watching. Of course, my youngest daughter was there. She's screaming at the top of her lungs. I go, film it. I'll put the song on. So I put the song on. She stops. She goes, I only got this part. I go, well, it doesn't do any. So I posted to Dwayne Johnson. He hasn't responded. I figured he would say, hey, thanks, Dwayne Johnson, for keeping my granddaughter calm. I figured he would come back and say, you're welcome, which would be but he didn't say anything. So F off Dwayne Johnson. But
I bet your friend Tom Cruise would respond.
Tom Cruise would, but I don't think Tom Cruise sings. Does he sing? Has he ever sang in his? No, he sang in Tropic Thunder, didn't he?
He sang in just about every film he's ever been in. Yeah.
When did he sing?
He sang
in Top Gun.
He is saying Tom Cruise is saying, I would say, in probably 65 to 70% of all of his movies, if you can call it singing.
Outsiders.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Most of them he has. It could just be a bar or two, but he will sing. He sang in Far and Away. He sang in Top Gun. He sang in
Risky Business.
Yeah, he sang in.
No, he mouthed the words in this.
But he showed off the underwear, which is half the battle.
He sang in Attack of the World, or what was it?
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds.
What did he sing in War of the Worlds?
Little Deuce Coupe.
Huh. Well, fuck it. I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, he sings in just about everything.
All right, Tom Cruise. I will find out if there's a song my granddaughter likes, and we'll hook up. We'll do whatever we have to do.
Anyway, all right, so I actually do have an updated. I wanted to make sure I backed my statement with true fact, which I normally do. So I will go in the order of worst to best in payouts per stream. Oh. So coming up worst.
Bring up Tom Brady's stat.
Nope. So worst on the list for streaming payouts is YouTube. YouTube pays out 0.00074 cents per stream. Yeah. Second to worst is Pandora at 0.00134.
I didn't know what Pandora is. Is it a box?
Pandora was what was before Spotify. Pandora was probably one of the first streaming service out there. Then Spotify took over. Third to last is Spotify. Spotify pays out 0.00397. Next up is Google. I didn't even know Google had music. But Google
is
0.00611. Streaming service called Deezer is next. Never heard of it. Is 0.00624.
You think Weezer set that up?
Amazon Music Service is next at 0.00774. Apple Music is at 0.00783.
So we're not even talking a penny.
No. Oh, no, it's a fraction of a penny.
It's slightly better, though, than what gas stations get for selling gas.
Yeah, exactly. Next up
is... you got to buy the candy.
Next up is Tidal. Tidal, and I believe that's the music streaming service that... was it
that's
Jay-Z? I think Jay-Z may have set that up. I'm not quite sure. But nobody uses it. It's 0.01284 per stream. Rhapsody.
wow.
Rhapsody's up
Rhapsody.
there,
Huh.
in the second place spot at 0.016. And the number one highest payout for streaming music. This is actually very interesting. I would never have thought this. It is
Drum roll.
Xbox Music.
Oh, yeah.
Xbox Music is paying out 0.02730 cents per stream.
Damn, 2 cents?
Nope.
No, not even
0.02
0.0.
cents.
Oh, 0.02.
No, actually, I'm sorry. No, that is.
Yeah, that's 2 cents. 0.02.
That is 0.02730. So they're paying almost 3 cents per stream.
Yeah, just about.
Wow.
That's
was
actually
pretty good.
significant. I mean, if you look at the jump between Apple Music at
Right.
at 0.78 cents to Xbox Music at almost 0.3 or almost 3 cents per. So it's interesting. But if you look, I mean, you got to look at, first of all, I guess the things you factor into it are of these streaming services, which of these streaming services do more to
Promote.
guess push and or develop or kind of increase traffic. And you got to look at the big dogs. Those are going to be, I'm assuming, Amazon Music as well as Apple Music.
Yeah, and
I mean,
Amazon, shut the fuck up. Get off my jock, okay? I don't want your
Right.
streaming service. Stop
But
advertising to me.
Here's the interesting thing, though, is if you look at a company like Spotify, though, I would wonder to see how many subscribers Spotify has versus all of these other ones, but there's a significant drop in what they pay versus.
Isn't our
these
podcast
other
on
ones.
Spotify now?
I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much are we getting?
But, I mean, Spotify is really bad. I mean, Spotify is, comparatively speaking to everybody else, is less than half of of some of the.
Because I was planning a
payouts.
trip on Hawaii. What we were making on Spotify. I guess I can cancel that.
Yeah.
But I guess if you have if you're one of those top artists and you have I don't know 100,000 downloads a day, what does that come out to be? Like $5?
10 bucks.
Not even.
It's it's nothing.
It's actually probably
$1.50.
a dollar.
Yeah.
I remember Chris is one of the members of the Birds. He put a Twitter a tweet out of, it was I don't know, just say August 2016. It was showing how many people had played 8 Miles High. And he made, it was 850,000 people, or how many times it had been streamed. It was an insane amount of number, and he made 13 cents.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry that I think that the music industry should stop this. I mean, I enjoy it because, like I said, I can just say, Alexa, play me Dwayne Johnson's "You're Welcome," and she'll play it nonstop for whatever I pay a month for the.
I can't find those stuff on Wayne Johnson's.
Wayne Johnson. Shut up, Alexa.
That song gets stuck in my head. Oh my god, I can't get
You're
it out.
welcome.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, no. If you actually want to actually get artists money, you still have to buy physical media. You can't even iTunes. They don't make anything.
Yeah.
I've asked struggling artists that I've met here in LA, just because I'm curious. And I'm like, hey, I bought your record on iTunes. I was like, do you mind how much money do you see off of iTunes? They were always like, oh, nothing. We get nothing. He's like, well, most of our money comes from live or selling stuff at the shows. He's like, we don't.
And these companies are making a fortune off it.
Oh yeah,
But-
they just.
I mean, you look at the same time, but that's also been the case. I mean, definitely more so now, but it's always been the case because the record labels would just take all the money.
Right.
So if you look at, when a band is coming up, the only way that they can make money is if they tour. And that's why you have bands like the Rolling Stones touring until they're dead, right?
Well,
I mean, the
they
Birds.
enjoy-
They
enjoy it, though.
they should have enough money already.
Yeah, but
Fair.
the Birds haven't been touring. I mean, that's really the thing. 8 Miles High came out in 1970. Get with the
65.
program.
Yeah.
Get out and tour.
8 Miles High is 65.
65. Yeah.
Really?
No, 66. 66.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm thinking of their. Maybe I'm thinking of their country album that came out in '69.
That's 68.
8 Miles High, the country version.
Okay.
You're thinking of Notorious Bird? No. Sweetheart of the Rodeo came out in 68.
Oh, okay.
But
word.
I mean, you also have to take into consideration how these streaming services in general may also be a huge benefit to bands try to make money in other ways, right? So, if you have a band that is new and does not have a major record label,
right?
The accessibility of getting out to millions and millions of people, the exposure is huge, and it's what you can do with that exposure after the fact is where you can really make some money.
That's a tricky.
Well, no question. I'm saying, but the potential of a small town like band that is on a very minor record label. If you go back 20 years ago, they're going to be selling their CDs at a show,
or you had to go to the DJ. Hey, can you play this song?
Right.
I'm just for any artists that actually do listen to this, as an artist, you never give your work away for free. There's always people that are like, oh, you'll get great exposure. Never fucking do it. Okay, get paid for your shit.
How much are you charging for your artwork you send out to people?
I do that for the love of the fans and I actually do get paid because we get patron support. So I feel like it's part of what I can get back.
I'm just giving you a hard time. I'm backing you up 100%.
But I'm saying, there's a lot of different gigs that are out there for artists, it's just like, oh, put this artwork in here. Can we borrow your artwork for this website or do this for, and
right.
I'm sure most bands like to travel and sing, perform concerts, but that's a drag too. I mean, it'd be much easier just to make the album and make the money off that than to have to.
Well, that's like if you still buy vinyl, like that's where they make most of their money. They're still making a very good percentage of vinyl sales. So it's like around like 11% or something like that of every vinyl sale.
No, I just take it for free off Alexa.
But it was shit. Oh, but like I was thinking about think about something like Bohemian Rhapsody, since we were talking about Queen like a couple episodes ago. That song alone cost over $500,000 in 1975 to make. And so think about $500,000 in 1975 just to make that one song. And think about it, this is probably their own money or at least borrowing a shit ton of it to make that record. And then think about nowadays, like if you spent $500,000, even that's still a great amount of money to us. And you're making 13 cents off of 1 million down streams, like, or whatever.
So what I don't know,
poor boy from a poor family.
What I don't know about, actually now I'm interested in, do a little bit more research on, is the payout the payouts I just read, are those the payouts that go to the artist? And if so, what is the chunk of money that goes to the label?
But it just depends on, did the artist write it? Did they just cover it? Like, there's publishing rights. There's so many different ways that go into how they're paid.
Oh, so you're saying so like the 10th of a cent they're getting, they don't even get the full 10th of a cent.
I don't know. I don't know the answers to that. I guess that's what I'm saying. I want to do a little more research. I mean, are those rates the end rates that go to the artist, or are those the rates that go to the label that then get distributed to the artist? I have no idea. I mean, at that small of a payout, I would have to assume that the total payout to the record label is probably much greater. And then that's the trickle down that the artist gets. That's my assumption. I'm not sure. I have to do a little more research on it.
Yeah. And I think that's why. Well, I mean, I think music was so good back then because it was like the Twitter of its day. If you had something to say, you wanted to get your message out, you would make good music. Today, like, people don't have to struggle as hard to do that. But like, there's no incentive today to be.
I got 280 characters.
Exactly. I can just tweet out something obscene and it goes around the world.
I'm a troubadour of my feelings.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like,
took a shit today and now I'm at Target.
I could have saved $500,000 if we just had Twitter.
Buy my shirt. I am Crazy Hank. By the way, people, I don't know if you're giving me shit for not having a beard or if you like the mustache. I'm getting mixed reviews here.
I've seen a few compliments and I like it. And
appreciate the, I guess. I don't know.
I can't grow facial hair, so fuck all you people. So.
I've just stopped. I've just stopped caring. So,
Matt Smith said, does this mean you guys are taking this show on the road? The road RCAD 219 tour.
That's how we're going to make a lot of money. We're going to
Hello, Cleveland.
Yeah.
and Cleveland rocks.
The podcast roadies. I mean, gonna have to.
I'm just saying, Jack can be a bit of a prima donna, and if you do not have everything in his contract exactly,
Tell me
Right.
about that.
He will just
Tell me
walk
about
the
it.
fuck off. Yeah.
I will walk the fuck off.
At our tour stop in Ohio, Nick's just going to get on stage with his ukulele and just play 2 hours nonstop. Baby, it's cold outside.
It'll be in Kentucky, where the crossover to the south occurs. You know, that is one team that has never really won a war is the South. You know, it's going back to that baseball. And
we were only in a country for 4 years, so
I was like, man,
but you're on one. Suck it, bitch.
I mean, I feel like the Brits actually at least burned down the White House at one point in time, so they're kind of like one up on you there. So
That's what the British say. Fuck it, South.
hey,
We burned down the White House.
yeah,
we Andrew Jackson did win the Battle of New Orleans. Just saying.
Yeah,
South.
you can win an inning. You can win a quarter. Doesn't matter what happens.
Broken clocks right twice a day.
It's what happens at the end of the game. Who has the most points? Sorry. You lose.
It's funny.
and the groupies would be yelling at me to shave my mustache, probably. So
Shave that stash. No, they'd be saying, "Let him read. Let him read. Let him read."
yeah,
We'd sell at that room. It'd just be full of angry Los Angeles Charger fans. You know.
Yeah, all three of them.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'll tell you, it's you bring up a good point though. It's like, with podcasts, like podcasts are now in, right? So, but everyone in their cat has a podcast right now. But like, I remember, was it 10 years ago, maybe eight years ago, when you guys might remember show Media Junkyard that I was on a long time ago.
I gave them a 1-star review.
Thanks, appreciate that. But we got to a point where it was partly because of some of the connections that we had made and some of the people that Chris knew in the industry. We actually had like a preliminary a verbal agreement to be part of CBS digital radio. Like they were going to pick up the Media Junkyard and then they were going to pay us to do a show. And it was going to be kind of cool because Chris and Rob would just go into New York into the studio and then they would just, digital connection to myself and Robin and he who lives up in Vermont. And they were going to do it. Like they were going to pay us, which was like, at this point, I had just lost my job, and I was like, "Holy shit,
okay." I'm sorry about the 1-star review. Now I feel bad.
Yeah, I was like, "Holy shit! I just lost my job." And this could be like a dream come true. It could be amazing.
I'm not laughing at that, but Ed said,
I'm reading that too.
Chris walks on stage and people throwing Tom Brady panties on stage.
Yeah, and they stick to me. Yeah, awesome. And I remember being on the edge of our seats, waiting for it to go through, and then all of a sudden, a week later, CBS Digital Media went under.
Oh right, I remember that now. Yeah,
I do remember that now too.
Yeah.
We filmed a pilot for was it some TV show? It was some TV thing, Bubble TV or something like this, and they ended up not picking us. And the guy they picked, it was for Lost, it was for something, and he was completely stealing the information from someone else.
Oh, really?
And he got in trouble. And I said, "Well, you should have picked us, fucker." Yeah. But no, we filmed it was something. I can't remember what it was for. I said, "Sure, I'll try it. I don't care." But yeah, what's hurt the podcast industry is all the big name stars.
Yeah,
right.
Have gotten into the podcast industry.
Yeah. It that was kind of the precursor to it, right? Because that was when CBS Digital went under, and all of a sudden you had because that was like when ABC was lost, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they followed you guys really of creating a podcast. Of which I was on once, by the way. But they followed you guys, and all of a sudden you had these big networks are creating their own digital content. So it was like it kind of took the the spotlight away from like the homegrown shows.
Yeah,
and it made it impossible essentially to actually take a show on the road like that.
I don't care what we would do, we'd never get the listenership we had with Lost. I mean, it was just amazing how many listeners we had compared to what we have now. Not that I'm complaining, But like you said, the mistake we made at the time, because I remember the guy that was our sponsor went to Hawaii, took us to Hawaii and did all this different stuff.
Cash card guy.
Yeah, Mike. He kept telling me, I was driving him around in Hawaii because he said, I can't be in that car anymore with Cliff, Jay, and Colleen. Can you get me out of there? And I go, you can ride with us. That's fine. Because they were arguing about which way to go. So anyway, he's like, what are you guys going to do next? I go, I don't care. What are you going to do next? He wanted us to do something in the pod, but we broke off the podcast and started doing something else. And then we came back to the podcast, but it was probably too late because we lost, because we still get people, you're still podcasting?
Yeah.
Yeah. It never stopped, but we did stop for a while. But anyway, live and learn.
But Chris is totally right, though. Like, I listened to one called the Half Hour Happy Hour, which is 3 B, C-list celebrities here in LA, and it's not that much different than what we do. They're just shooting the shit, talking about random stories, having fun. But they were on the Nerdist network, and that's the thing, because they're being actors, they have ends, and so they're on the Nerdist network, and they're getting paid to just do whatever because all the sponsors that are associated with the Nerdist network, and then they actually got dropped, I think, or maybe the Nerdist networks cut out a lot of stuff. I don't know, but they were fishing a month ago for another like hard podcasting network to be on that would pay them to do it. So it's like, hey, no, if you're not doing it because you like it, then you're in the wrong group.
Yeah, now it's like you might as well be on Amazon. What's it? I'm drawing a blank on it. The point cents, whatever. It's just for fun. But like I said, we used to have a customer who used to come in the rink and goes, I don't listen to Nerdist because I don't like that Hardwick guy because he stole your idea. The Walking Dead after thing. I go, stole our idea because we used to do the videos and stuff like that. Like I said, Jay had the idea, but we kind of just veered off and went to a different direction, and it is what it is. But the Nerdist, fuck him. I don't like. I never liked the Nerdist because of. They stole our idea.
Well, I mean, it's incredible because if you go back to, what was it, like the mid to late 2000s was when podcasts were really starting to take off, right? So you're looking at the fan generated podcast, like the reaction podcast, the theory podcast, and I think that Lost was kind of the start of it, right?
Yeah, Lost definitely.
It definitely was like there was a garage band aspect to it.
Yeah.
And I think that now, though, we're seeing this other side of it where it has entered into more of the popular culture vernacular where, there was an SNL skit the other night.
You saw that one, but not up on the show?
It was about the podcast awards. They had like a little podcast awards kind of. Yeah, it was kind of funny. It was more kind of in the second or last half hour of SNL, so it was kind of like their fodder of like, well, maybe this will work. But it was still pretty funny, tongue in cheek, and they were kind of hitting on some of the main basics of podcasts. They had some pretty funny jokes, but
now they have big name,
right,
MCs hosting the podcast awards,
right, and that's because it was interesting because I think the networks, and this is me drawing my own conclusion, but the networks saw the success and the attention that it drew from their audience, right? So it was a locked in demographic that they could really capture, the attention of. And, you had shows like Lost, and if you even go back to what's his name, Derek in Smallville, on all the CW shows, there's the Buffy the Vampire Slayer podcast.
Heroes was really popular.
Heroes was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah,
and Derek and his buddies did that show, the Heroes podcast, and they were wildly popular. The Smallville, very niche audience, Smallville fans, was very popular. Lost had a complete fan base, and for more or less, Jay and Jack had them all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the networks catch on to what really works, and what's a way they can get their audience. They have a sticky audience. They have content that they know people are going to devour. And they said, well, shit, why are we letting these people do it when we can make money off of it? So you have things like Talking Dead. You have things like All these other shows like
Well,
Joe Rogan having his show, right? Like Joe Rogan's got a significant following from
what's the guy that was in
from the
Kimmel
Ultimate
and
Fighting, right?
What's the guy with
What's
Kimmel? He was with Kimmel.
Oh yeah,
Adam
Carolla.
Yeah, Carolla.
He's making millions.
Yeah.
Off
So
his
like
podcast.
Well, even PBS. I mean, those assholes at PBS. I mean, they just like, they like try to up their game with all this like really fancy like.
But these big corporations and big networks found a way to use their influence, and rightly so. I mean, it's a smart.
Well, yeah, it's free advertisement.
Exactly, and even NPR and fucking PR, the station that nobody listens to, all of a sudden, great. I now listen to it. I now listen to it.
Matt raised his hand.
I mean, they're packaging all of their content into podcasts now, and it's like it's just a super smart, accessible to a specific niche audience that.
You make fun of me about the PBS or the NPR thing, but that's how I was able to call in and talk to Alan Alda. So
no, I listen to NPR now too. I do.
I listened if Alan Alda was on. I didn't know.
But I mean, the thing is, though, they're able to grab the attention of their audience outside of the scheduled TV schedule and maintain that. And then you look at like the advertising that's involved in those things now is amazing.
Oh yeah,
like the amount of advertising you hear in podcasts, because an advertiser can now say, I want to reach these people, right? And there's a much better way to reach these people than going off of Nielsen ratings, right?
Well,
I mean, you have the data that you get from subscriptions. I think it's incredible.
I know pretty much the first advertisement we sold was Audible.com. Yeah. People bitched about it. I go, well, I don't know. And we weren't making that much off it. I mean, it was nice, but it was like, as this podcast went on, we made more money. But like I said, what helped us, I think, was Jorge listening to the show and then calling him. And then having him be so generous to come on the show.
Right.
I think that's what started separating us and getting us more listeners because, and plus we were consistent with it though too. So.
I don't know why anybody would bitch though, because that was back when Jay would always do the ACC feed, and it was split up into segments. So as soon as you hit the advertising segment, all you had to do was hit forward, and it would skip over the advertising.
I used to give Jay shit. Oh, go ahead.
Except if you're trying to put your baby to sleep, and you've got a bottle, and you're like sitting there, and like there's nothing that you can do. That was a time in which I had two little babies at home that I was taking care of, much like what Jack's doing now as a grandpapa.
You're welcome.
And you'd have these nap times where you're trying to get them to sleep, or you're trying to, and I would just put the earbuds in, and it's not like I wasn't interacting with my 4-month-old or my 3-month-old, but
well, I get it. You got to have some.
You got to have something else going on. So I would tune in to Jay and Jack and be like, "Where the fuck's the download? Come on, guys! Like, get with it. I don't care if you're in school, Jay. Like post the podcast."
Yeah, I used to give shit to Jay all the time because he'd be nominated for Best Produced Podcast, but it would never win. And but he should have won. I mean, literally, he would.
Oh,
I did all the emails. But literally, he would listen to the calls, do the thing, and it would take him like 2 hours to download the damn show, and he had to go to school the next. And we'd have to drive it like an hour away to go to school. He'd get like 2 hours sleep, and be up like. But I always tell him, I go, I won the award though. I got it. Yeah, but it was like I said. That's how. Even back then, the award show was like, "Oh yeah, you can go. I don't care." I didn't care. But now I'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm going." There's people there. There's people there I'd want to meet. But it's crazy how it just turned out. But like I'll say it publicly. I've said this 1,000. He should have got Best Produced Podcast. He should have, but he never won it.
Oh, what'd you guys win?
We won Best in Entertainment.
Ah, okay.
And
I remember voting.
I told him,
multiple times.
well, that's me because you're not entertaining.
You're gonna need a whole van. You're gonna need a whole van to move that award. So.
Hey, I've won one more award than the Chargers.
As I say, yeah.
Hey, they got the AFC Championship Award in what, 94?
Yeah, whatever. And the Married Man Show was nominated and lost to what's that guy? He's on. He's a comedian. He's on what's that the wrestling show, women's wrestling show. Mark Maroon.
Oh yeah. Mark Moran.
Yeah, he beat us.
Yeah,
there almost should be because I remember Colleen talking to me about it's very political now, or you have to advertise. It's almost like the Oscars, like to get the podcasting awards. It's like, well, there should be two different things. There should be like an amateur, and then there should be professionals that actually have sponsorships because you can't compete. Just like we couldn't compete with somebody like Nerdist Network or something.
What hurt us on Lost following that Lost. Remember, they would come back and they would only do it. They'd be after the first of the year. And the award voting was during like October, November. We weren't on. I mean, we do podcasts, but it wasn't like when Lost was on, and that hurt us. So anyway, that's the deal. I do have some emails. I'll get that.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure.
Yeah.
This one's from Maggie Mac. It starts off with "Fuck you all."
What?
Scroll down. The first email I sent was in November, and you got about you going from RCAD full time was goddamn contributing email. But no one mentioned sending me one of Matt's drawings, and I want one. Also, I love you, Chris, but "Baby, It's Cold Outside" is still creepy to me.
That's fine.
And you know, Maggie, I don't have time to fucking scroll down, so fuck it.
Matt, you should make that more like a Jackson Pollock.
All right, so Maggie, I posted this on your Facebook post or comment. You can have this one that my daughter drew when she was about 5. It says, "Thank you, Maggie." So her name is Maggie as well. You're more than welcome to that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I do have some other ones laying around here, but nothing that I really, nothing of worthwhile that I did today. I was trying to draw some flat footballs, but I got distracted.
Those flat footballs still get intercepted.
I promise, John, that works for UPS, I will get your letter out to you. I have also one for Dennis. And Joanne with the plan, let me know which one you want.
It's funny you say that because the next email is from Joanne with a plan.
Oh,
just listen to the latest podcast. I'm happy to have the landscaping drawing. Sounds interesting.
Okay, and so for the patrons that are listening, this is the one that she is going to get. This is the Mars landscape. It's actually kind of. Nick likes it. He wishes that I would have sent him some.
I want someone to get that tattooed on their ass. I vote Matt.
Yeah, I'll vote for that. That's cool.
That's what will happen. Like when we go on tour, we'll get on stage and someone will have like Matt's name tattooed on their arm.
Kiss that tat. Kiss that tat.
Matt, will you sign my boobs?
That would
Where you draw on my boobs?
That would be really weird and hard to explain to my wife. But Joanne with the plan, I think we're friends on Facebook. You can go ahead and send me a message with just in Facebook Messenger. You can send me your address.
I have it if you want me to forward it. But if you want
Jack can forward it to me. And Chris, I don't have your current address, or else I would have sent you a Christmas card.
Oh, you just say Chris in Boston, and they'll find him.
I know, that's what I thought, but I was kind of worried they would take too long. So anyway, I promise I'll get these out in the mail. I've been a little pokey about that. So when I podcasted from work, I was a little bit more on top of it. But now that I podcast from home, they kind of sit here looking at me, and then I. So I will get these out though this week to everyone. So I appreciate everyone's feedback, and I'm more than happy to send out some artwork to listeners. It's kind of Nick and I kind of bring the creative force here, where he starts off with a song that he's worked on, and I
guess Jack and Chris don't do shit.
No. You guys have your own shit that you guys do. You guys.
I'm not creative at all.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and speak for Jack on this one, Matt, and say, Fuck you.
No, I'm not saying that you don't do anything. I just, like
Nick and I pretty much run the show.
Kristen's over here just farts the alphabet all night.
Jack, you're fucking stupid. What the fuck? I don't know.
I did like when you did fart the alphabet. I just didn't think that Z was actually like that recognizable as a Z, and X was really kind of weird. But I'm just saying that we're kind of bookends. Nick and I are bookends.
That's great, Chris. I'm pretty hurt right now, so I don't know if I can continue this podcast.
All right, so I'm going to finish this out thanking our patrons.
Well, you can read Desiree's email because first I haven't even read the email yet. But Desiree, I'm going to tell you right now, what's the rule? Large print, large font.
I just farted the vowels. That was pretty loud. That's definitely going to be on the show.
Hey, can you fart this email for me? Okay.
That ain't give me a fart date. I owned that one.
All right, so let me start this email. It's going to take me a while because the damn print is too fucking small. But I shouldn't bash people because they took the time to write an email. So I
Desiree did.
Yeah, I apologize, Desiree, but Jesus Christ. Anyway, so as a woman, this is from Desiree, by the way. So as a woman, I find "Baby It's Cold Outside" to be a creepy song. To me, it feels like a guy who complains about the friend zone, trying to get this girl to give him some, and she's making every excuse in the book to leave. However, even if you go by the story, she's of her trying to make excuses to stay because she wants to hit it. There's still one big problem in the song. The whole concept that the woman can't have sex because they have to stay pure and sweet for the men in some bullshit.
That's what I'm saying.
You did say that. You did say that. But I'm not done. I'm looking at this from the 2018 lens, but I'm also looking at it from a lifetime of saying, why the fuck can't I? Sure, we can say that was a time back then when women just weren't allowed to be real people, control over their own lives, and things have changed now. But that doesn't make me want to hear it. I'm tired of men hearing men tell me that I should get over the past and that I have to be good these days. It's kind of like me and the Chargers. I'm tired of people telling me I need to get over it. That's bullshit.
Not the same. No.
What?
Not the same, but go ahead.
It's similar. Similar.
No.
It's similar.
I'm speaking from Desiree's point of view, but go ahead.
I'm not creative, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's bullshit. I make 70% of what a man makes. If I get raped, it's my fault for dressing slutty or drinking or having a vagina, whatever. I am still thought of less strong, less capable, less of a person than a man. The song bugs me because it's a reminder of how far we have come as women and how far we have to go. I don't want to hear it and don't want men to tell me that my feelings are not valid. I have enough of that in my life. I was really upset a few months ago by something that happened on the show. I don't think you guys even realized what it was wrong. Nick was telling a story about how his nephew was watching The Sandlot, and then someone said he threw like a girl. The nephew said that was sexist. Great job on Nick's nephew. However, less than 5 minutes later, Nick told Jack that he has 3 girls, basically implying that Jay was a girl.
That's Jack's joke, though.
Yeah, it is my joke, and to be fair, even it's funny. Do you know? I'm kidding. Do you know that? You know what we went through your whole life, having your gender used as an insult for men. You don't. It's disheartening. Actually, heartbreaking when you hear it from someone you respect. Yes, I know Nick didn't mean it. It's so awful, but this is what women live with. They are the joke of gender, less than men. We live in this every day. Every day is a fight to be equal. Hold on a second. Let's scroll down. And yes, we should focus on ending sex trafficking. But while we do that, we should also change why society thinks about women. We should stop celebrating the song that treat women inferior. We should stop making comments that are harmful to women. We should stop telling jokes that make women seem incompetent, helpless, or naggy. I'm not trying to lambaste, but lambaste you guys. I just want you to stop and realize that what you say matters. Maybe this will help. Maybe this will get you to think about things and change some sexist behavior. Help change the sexist behavior in society and realize that you can use your male privilege to do that. Still love you guys, Debs.
Great email.
Great email. And Des, you deserve a drawing for that email, considering I've been giving out drawings for feedback, and I appreciate you writing in about that. I do want to just mention that I had a discussion with my daughter specifically about Baby It's Cold Outside, just to talk to her about that it's okay to say no and how important it is to be able to state your case. It's also okay to, I didn't go into this with my daughter about being able to be flirty and all of that stuff because she's in 6th grade and she doesn't need to know that stuff right now. What she needs to know is that she's empowered to say no, and that means no. And that's why there was a controversy about the song. So I actually did have a long conversation with my daughter about it, kind of explaining some of the rules of where we are now. So just wanted to kind of touch on that. Chris, I know you have some things that you want to say to Desiree.
Yeah, I think it was a very well written email.
I'm sorry, I read the best I could.
No, it was
fine, Jack.
You did a good job, Jack. Very well read email and well written email. My only response to it is that I agree on pretty much all fronts of that. What you said in that email.
It's hard to argue it.
No, there is no arguing. And what she said. Hold on one second. What she said is absolutely 100% spot on. With the pressures and the things that the expectations and so forth and so on, 100%. And I think that anybody on this show would absolutely agree with that.
Especially like anything shitting on Nick, right? Okay, go ahead, Chris.
No, just speaking on the song alone and the defense of the song last week was not in any way to minimalize or kind of shut that conversation down at all. It was very specifically, at least on my part. I mean, I can speak for myself. I'm not going to speak for anybody else in this, but for my part, the defense of the song was not in conjunction with the bigger picture of everything, right? I think that she said it herself that the song was actually, from what we had interpreted lyrics from last week, it was actually the opposite of her wanting to stay and not wanting to go, but she felt pressured. And yes, I think that's terrible that was the societal norm, if you will, then. And yes, I agree. I think we've come quite a long way. And Des makes a great point, and I know there were some conversations from Shandy and others on the Facebook page about what's the different thing is that song actually brings back some people's feelings about that, and that should not be minimized either. And that's not what the discussion from last week was intending to do. The discussion from last week was solely based upon the accusations that it has brought upon itself, which Des did actually kind of alluded to in the fact that I believe the accusations that the song has are inaccurate. How that song makes people feel is true, and that's a different conversation. But to going back to the original conversation from last week was purely to defend the accusations that song was a date rape song, which I am still 100% against. And I don't think that is true. And I don't think that's what was intended. And I think that topic or that moniker or that whatever you want to call it is being placed on this song inappropriately. That aside, everything else that Des has said is absolutely true. And that's a larger discussion about society in general, but not the song. So Des, I will say, we still love you too. I loved your email. I think it was well written and very, very thought out. And yes, Nick is an asshole.
A creative one. I know, like for me,
he's not an asshole. I kid, and Nick did not mean any offense by that.
But it is my joke. But I was brought up in the generation that you did make jokes like that, and I have worked hard on not saying that. I mean, I got called out from Maggie about calling the Cowboys the Cowgirls. and she didn't like. I said, you know what, you're right. I will try not to say that, because sometimes you just don't think, because again, I grew up when I grew up, you could say something to anybody. Everything was all in the family. You could say anything to anybody, and it just, that's the way life was. And not that it was right, but that's just the way it was. And I have worked hard not to, like you said, one of my favorite, again, but I don't repeat it anymore, is you play ball like a girl. It's, at the time, was a funny line. It's funny, but now I see, okay, that's offensive. You can't say that. But at the time, it was funny and nobody said anything. But once people start going, okay, that offends me. All right, yeah, I hear you. Okay, I try not to say things. I don't want to be offensive to people. I mean, so I try not to, except Dean Spanos, fuck him. But I try not to say things that are offensive. But it's hard, and it's a learning curve. And so when I hear something, all right, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. Now, if I feel I was in the right, I'm going to tell you, no, I'm not going to apologize for that. But most things, when I was talking about sex trafficking, I wasn't just talking about women. I was talking about young boys, young girls. It's
the industry itself.
The
fact that there's actually even something going on there, and we can't do anything to stop it.
Yeah, and nobody is talking. I can't believe that's not an issue that we as a country don't say, we need to put a stop to this. It's this. Right. Why is this happening? So that's what I'm talking. I'm not just. Probably it's more women, obviously, but I don't. I want it to stop 100%. I mean, obviously you probably can't, but it should be. If you're caught with a young girl or a young boy, fuck it. You're going to jail for life. In my book, because that's bullshit, and that's just the way I feel, because that's wrong. There's no learning curve that's right or wrong. That is fucking wrong. And that's just the way I feel about that. But I will work in the future I do, but I don't think I've made that joke about Jay in a long time. I think that's I've tried not to.
There was somebody said something the other day, and I just really liked the way they said it. And it was somebody that, I mean, I don't know, like they said, I do my best to not offend people.
I think that was Lincoln.
He said that at Ford's Theater.
Yeah. But I try my best not to be offended. I try my hardest not to be offended. And I guess, like, with me, when I look at something like Baby It's Close, I look at it in the context of when it was written, and I look at it as a piece of art. I mean, even though people can debate whether or not a pop song is art or not. And to me, it's like, I remember, what was it, years ago, people were debating on if they should get rid of Huckleberry Finn, in schools, because it has the N-word in it, and it has, like, slavery and all these things like that in it. But, like, to me, it's like, it's still a good piece of literature, and usually when I defend something, it's not in that context. It's that, what are you learning from this? Because you can't just whitewash something and try to forget it,
Great pun.
Yeah. True. I know. I kind of thought that.
Just saying.
Yeah. But I mean, that's me. And so, like, Baby It's Cold Outside, I mean, Dez is 100% right, and the fact that it could totally make a woman feel that way. Like, I shouldn't live in that society where I have to be ashamed for my sexuality or for being me, but we don't live in that society anymore, and we really don't. Like, I mean, you can be, and especially in the United States, you can be whatever the hell you want to be. And we're the better country for it.
I would say yes and no.
And no, yes. I'm not saying
there are people, and especially in, like, some rural parts, that don't feel as liberated as that. So
true.
But go ahead, though. I don't mean to.
To be Jack.
I didn't interrupt you about some nonsensical football story, but go ahead.
Right.
Fuck you, man.
I basically made my point, but as in what the song is, I appreciate it just for the melody. I appreciate for the wit of it, the back and forth. You can tell just by the structure of the song, the way that the two characters, singers are singing, that it's supposed to be a witty banter of two willing partners. But I also acknowledge that as well, of the society of this time.
I know my wife, she was actually she's talked about it before, but she talked about it the other day. She goes, I ran 5 rinks in Southern California, Arizona, and not once did I feel like I was treated different because I was a woman. I got the respect because, and it's just, well, I guess the way California was or is, but she came out here. It was completely different. She only ran one rink, and the men would always, they'd come to me, or I go, well, why don't we talk to the manager? And there was these guys that were putting in the hot water heater, and it was funny because one guy would talk to me. He was really Southern. I literally didn't. So I purposely said, we need to talk to the manager because I don't know what you're talking. But they literally would come, we need to talk to the man. I go, well, the man is a woman. And I would tell him this every fucking day. And yet every day he'd come in and say, is the man here? I go, you mean the woman in charge? But yet he meant someone else because he didn't want to talk. He didn't want to talk to her. I said, no, you have to talk to the manager. She's the one that makes, and I would say that all the time. And it's funny how a lot of men out here and would think, they just said, no, I need to talk to, well, is there a man I can talk to? I said, no, but there's the manager who's a woman you can talk to. And every guy that came in there, and even a lot of women would say, I need to talk to the manager. Is he in? And I go, she's in. Would you like to talk to her? Mm-hmm. And like I said, I never thought about it, but that's just because in California, it didn't seem like it was that way. But here in North Carolina, it is a little different.
Yeah. I didn't know this until like a month ago. My building, he wasn't really the building manager, but he was the head security door guy. Like he basically ran everything within the building. He was from South America. And, that's still very macho, very male driven, all that. And we threw him a party when he retired because he was older. And about half the building showed up, but there was a lot of people who didn't. And I remember like bumping into one girl that's my next door neighbor. And I was like, oh, I missed you at the party, And she's like, oh, I wasn't going to come to that. And I was like, why not? And she was like, well, I just never liked him. He always treated me like I wasn't a tenant. And I kind of, what do you mean? He goes, well, he's like, well, I live with my boyfriend. And his name's the one that's on the lease, not mine. So he never recognized me as a tenant, and she was just describing it to me. It's kind of like, I get, you don't know. I didn't know what his motivation was. Like, did he consider them living in sin because they weren't married, or was it because she was a woman, or what? But like, the thing is that was so obtuse to me. The fact is like, oh, I never saw him do that behavior to somebody. To me, he was just a normal guy, but because he probably just treated me because I was a guy.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I was like, wow, that just to me seems so weird in today's age. It's like, who cares? Like, if it's another human being, treat them with respect. But right. People are.
I was messing with Apple Care about a month ago. I had this ongoing problem with a brand new iMac that we had bought for my work. It's brand new, state of the art iMac, but I kept having this issue with it, and the hard drive would fill up and crash it, which is really frustrating because once it crashes, like there's nothing, I can't even get the Apple Care person to see what's going on. It's just like troubleshooting blind, basically. And I'm not trying to be sexist, but I kept getting these men that would not help me get through it. I had probably like 2-3 times I'd gotten through it and nothing. Like the guys that helped me, absolutely, like I would get to a point where it was fixed and they would crash again. And then all of a sudden, the last time I got this woman, and I was like, all right, this is the person. She's going to see me through it. And I don't mean to but she did. And I don't think it was just the fact that she was, the gender thing, but it was the fact that I made a familial connection with her over the phone. Mm-hmm. That there was something from our past that was very similar. And she was like, I'm with you. I'm going to stay with you through this. What's that?
You both creative?
No, we both were kind of only children who had siblings who came late in life. And she, like the distance and age between.
You got this in a tech support call?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because you're waiting on the line to for stuff to upload and download.
So not only
you're on the phone and you're just talking.
Well, so not only do you take a long time to cut it in line at the post office, you're one of those people that holds up the. That's why I'm on hold listening to music, because you're chatting with the tech person.
Hey, here he is trying to tell a good story, and both of you guys are shitting on him.
Because we're not creative. We don't understand.
I Hey, it was fixed. Okay, that's all I'm saying. It was finally fixed, and you know who saw me through the whole thing? Anyway,
no, like I totally agree. Like, it's just in my work experience, in all of the jobs I've ever had that I've considered my career jobs, I've always preferred to work with women over men. And even now, in my current job, all of my team is women except me. And I've always said that. I was like, I when my boss is like, when you hire someone, I will always. I mean, it's even kind of reverse sexism, if you want to call it that, in a way, because I would rather prefer to give my boss a resume of a woman than a man, because I think women have less ego, especially when it comes to when my archaeological job. It's like there's always going to be one guy like telling you what to do. Like where women, it's like, let's try to fix this, or let's try to work on this together. And I like the team play of that more than I do with men, even though we're all men here. It's just like, but like when I know that when I'm making a program or an application or a map, anything I do in my current work, if I have a question, they're just going to be like, oh, and like, if I ask them, like, how would you do this? I'm not going to get any shit from them. It's just going to be like, hey, like I did this on a previous thing, or like, oh, I see what you're doing here. And they might give you a compliment. They might not. They might say, Nick, this is shit. But it's just like, I know I'm going to get the problem fixed, and it's not going to be a whole struggle of, you should do it this way, or, because guys just tend to look at it from a one perspective. I mean, it's just the way we're wired, and that's just weird. I mean, to me, but I don't know.
Hey, it takes both sexes, though.
It does.
Not, like we wouldn't have kids. So
takes a village
of idiots.
Well, I fit right in.
C. Drake just says, I'm trying to say that I don't like working with you guys anymore because you're not creative like Matt and me.
Oh man, that 45 that I gave you went a long way. So
it did, yeah.
Well, this show has had a roller coaster of topics,
didn't it? Started out all salty, and now it's Jack.
Well, I'm still pretty fucking salty. I don't know. But hey, is that it? I think that's all the emails we had.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked a bit about monetizing podcasts and specifically how not to monetize podcasts. But we aren't a major a media outlet like the CW or
not yet.
ABC yet. But this show is, and other shows from the Jay and Jack Network are here because of you guys, the listeners. So thank you for listening, and
thanks for showing up.
Yeah, thanks for showing up. And how can our listeners
except CJ?
How can our listeners be? How can they help contribute towards our show?
I don't know, Matt. How could they do that?
Well, it's really late to try to get your Christmas gifts in through Amazon, but
no, it's never too late. It's never too late.
Okay, you got that one family member that you're like, it's after Christmas, but I still got to get them something, right?
Yeah.
Or you signed up for the Secret Santa thing, and you're like, shit, I still got to get that person something. How you're going to do that is you go to jayandjack.com/Amazon. And you're going to go to Amazon, and you're going to get all of your shopping needs. I've put a lot of, if I know, I've gotten a lot of gifts for my family through there. So it's not the only, it's not the only way. I as a small business operator, I highly recommend shopping local and also checking out some of those mom and pop businesses, it keeps the economy rolling. So
unless you want to help us, and it's endless.
But if you want to help us, which is also another mom and pop organization, you can help us through the Amazon affiliate link that I mentioned. But more importantly, this podcast was a live show that we got to share with a lot of people in the chat. I know, some people have probably left. Some people have came back on. I mean, there's been a lot of different chat members chiming in as we've been podcasting. Oh, shit.
That's me.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
you thought you were a credit card machine, huh?
Yeah, no, it was my elf on the shelf thing, I'm just joking.
Love the elf.
Anyway,
check if my son is still reading.
This is one of the shows that is made possible by you, the listeners, the patrons. If you support us at the dollar level, even, you get to join us in on this live show. $5 level gets you a patron's choice podcast, for free. Well, not for free, but it's something that we give to the patron's choice. I don't know. I'm 2 beers in at this point. Maybe Jack shouldn't have given me this job.
I think you're being very creative with the way you're.
Okay,
this is Matt. This is Matt the creative, not Matt the salesperson.
Guys, I'm thinking about this mountain that we can all go to in the sky. If we all dream about it at the same time tonight, we can be there together. And it's called the Patrons Hangouts, which is another level in the patrons. Yeah, totally. So Patrons Hangouts is another level.
We got a special one we're working on next month.
We are. We're hard at work on that. I think everybody's going to really enjoy that. And
it depends on how far the Patriots go to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we're all hoping that they lose.
We should get Bill Belichick on the podcast. This is great. You guys fucking suck.
Well, I think we just had him because that's about as much as he talks about. Anyway, if you want to support us, go to jayandjack.com. There's a patron support link there. I know that there's a shortcut, but I'm too dumb to remember it right now. But
that's actually, I think, the fastest way.
It is jayandjack.com. You're going to find the patron link right there. It helps support us at any level, and it really does. Every single one of the podcasters, as they contribute, we do get a little slice of that, and it does helps pay for the postage that goes out for all of this wonderful artwork. Helps pay for all that great sheet music that Nick's buying for these great
helps pay for the creative talent of Nick and Matt.
Mm-hmm. Keeps the website up and going, and all of the podcasters happy. So we appreciate it, and we appreciate you. There's actually some big patrons that help make this possible.
They're all big.
They're all big. I just want to specifically thank you, Maggie. By holding up this card right here.
We have Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Richter, who I love following on Twitter because he always has something nice to say about Nick.
He does. He always likes to. Yeah. He does.
I sometimes I hate to say it, Nick, but I'm just rolling because it's funny.
I got to follow him on Twitter because I don't get on Twitter enough. But
he jokes about Chris too, but he leaves Matt alone. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe I shouldn't.
He picks on Jay too, so that's always
every blue moon. I'll get on Twitter and I see oh, you have 8 @, and I'm like, oh, and they're all from him.
Well, sometimes I'll include you in it because I found it especially funny. We have Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with the plan, and Ed the letter carrier with the cool socks. If you don't follow Ed on Facebook, you're messing out because every day of the month of December he has cool Christmas socks. So go follow Ed Smith on Facebook. Unless maybe he doesn't want me saying that, but screw it. Go follow him. And fuck you, Dean Spanos.
Hey, Ed gives us a little tip here. Stamps are going up. Better buy some extra. Just go to the front of the line. So Ed's kind of recommending buy your stamps now.
I started to say, but I got interrupted by Nick or Matt that I got a card from Matt as well, and the special stamp you got was so covered with the ink that they, the thing that they scan it with.
Oh no!
I couldn't even tell what kind of stamp it was.
Oh really? You couldn't tell that it was the John Lennon stamp?
I couldn't. I literally could not tell what it was.
Are you kidding me?
I swear to God. I look. I go, huh?
I should have just given you the Santa stamp, but
All right, gents.
All right,
let's land this fucking plane.
This was a great show, 1 in a million. Got it in before anybody else could fucking say something. It was a great show, guys. Merry Christmas.
Great show, guys. Oh, and that's right. Happy holidays. We'll be back after the New Year. Everybody, do not drink and drive. It's not worth it. Uber or be the designated driver. Come on.
Yeah, be smart.
There's been enough education on this. You don't need to get behind the wheel intoxicated and drive. Kill yourself or someone else. All right.
Yeah, Santa.
That's my PSA announcement for this final year of 2018. We'll be back 2019 with a new show. I'm going to go wrong. Go ahead.
So I picked the wrong week to stop sniffing glue.
I'm I'm gonna go work. My New Year's resolution is be more creative, so I can be part of the cool gang. I don't know about you, Chris. I don't know what your resolution is going to be.
Fuck it.
I hope you all have the happiest Christmas since.
Anyone have a resolution? I know you had one, Matt.
Since Bing Crosby danced with Danny fucking K.
Okay.
Yeah. Hallelujah. Holy shit. So I don't know
here, but I do hope that everyone has a phenomenal Christmas with your families and whoever you spend your holidays with. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
All right. Anybody else?
No, I'm good. Happy New Year. Well, yeah.
I'm going to use less plastic bags, more cloth bags. I that's my New Year's resolution every year, and every year I get a little bit better at that. So I hope all of you consider that too. So anyway.
Unless of course, you work for the plastic industry, then no, screw you.
Fuck them. Okay, I'm getting a better job. So great show, guys.
1 in a million, guys. All right, that's it. Hasta luego and goodbye.
Bye-bye.
And thanks for everyone in the chat for joining us. Thank you. Except you, David Guy.
Ho, 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 ho.
Ringo out.